Are you aware there is a hormone-breath connection? Actually, there is a breathing exercise called paced respiration that reduced menopausal symptoms by 52% in a clinical trial. How good is that? If you would like to learn more, stay tuned. You're listening to Menopause Natural Solutions, episode 132, Breathwork for Menopause. Welcome to Menopause Natural Solutions, your podcast for all things perimenopause, menopause and beyond. Stay tuned as your host, naturopath Jennifer Harrington, explains how to use natural therapies to find your ultimate health and happiness during your transition. Welcome. Before we dive into today's topic, I want to acknowledge a couple of pioneers in the breathwork space. James Nestor, author of Breath, Patrick McEwen, author of The Breathing Cure, and John Kabat-Zinn, founder of the Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, or MBSR for short. And I'm sure there are others, but these three gentlemen introduced me to breathwork, and I didn't feel right talking about it without acknowledging them. So thank you. Did you know that 64% of all deaths are linked to lifestyle diseases? This stat was taken from all deaths that occurred in the USA in 2019. That means that 64% of these deaths could have been prevented. What are you doing to optimize your lifestyle health? Today's podcast is proudly brought to you by my very own Menopause Makeover program. In this program, we discuss many lifestyle habits, and we even have a live breathwork workshop together. But you must be quick, as enrollments close this Thursday, the 8th of September. So if you're ready to banish your menopausal symptoms and learn a more graceful way to age, I look forward to working with you. I'll leave the link in the show notes in case you want to join. Back to the research. Could you find a spare 30 minutes in your day if it reduced your menopausal symptoms by 52%? In the clinical trial, paced breathing compared with usual breathing for hot flushes, they found 15 minutes of breath work twice daily not only reduced hot flushes, but also reduced PMS symptoms and headaches while improving mood, stress tolerance, and sexual function. Now let me ask you again, could you find a spare 30 minutes in your day for these results? If not, how about 15 minutes? Even just one 15-minute session of breathwork daily was linked with a 44% reduction in menopausal symptoms. Our breath over our lifetime can change. When you watch a newborn baby breathe, you will notice its tummy rise and fall. We are born naturally deep breathers, fully activating our diaphragm and taking in large, slow breaths of air. Sometimes as we age, this changes to become shallow, rapid breaths instead. Something you may not know is that your lung capacity is one of your greatest indicators of life. The less efficient your lungs become as you age, the closer you are to death. Think about it. Oxygen deficiency will kill you faster than dehydration, starvation, lack of movement, etc. Yet it's not the first thing we think about when we consider improving our health. Another thing that changes for many of us is that we move from predominantly breathing through our nose to being mouth breathers instead. There are so many downsides to being a mouth breather. Let's see if you recognize some of these symptoms. fatigue, lack of focus, moodiness, aggression, poor memory, snoring, and sleep apnea. Many mouth breathers have to extend their neck in order to get a full breath in, and this can create neck pain and headaches. Mouth breathers also have an abnormal resting tongue position, and this can create issues with swallowing, dry mouth, jaw pain, and even more headaches. It's even linked with issues with your heart rate variability and increased blood pressure. But the list still goes on. In Patrick McKeown's book, he has 2 sections specifically on women's breath, and this includes a chapter on menopause, one on the impact of hormone replacement on the breath, potential breathing issues for women who have experienced an early menopause, and breathwork for menopausal symptoms. It's the only breath book with specific mention to women that I'm aware of. After reading his book, you may be wondering if your symptoms are menopause-based or breath-based. There is a strong connection between reproductive hormones and respiratory chemistry. Did you realize your lung function peaks in your 20s and slowly declines until you reach menopause? And then this decline accelerates, leaving postmenopausal women more at risk of respiratory illness, allergies, and infections. This risk is further increased if you have experienced an early menopause. But you can change this. There are exercises you can do to improve the depth of your breath, to help you move back to being more of a nasal breather, to obtain a better resting tongue position, to help reduce your menopausal symptoms. If you would like to experience a breathwork workshop with me and learn the paced respiration technique, I look forward to working with you in my Menopause Makeover program. I'm going to leave you with a quote from Patrick. Breathing impacts every aspect of your health: sleep, digestion, movement, mental well-being, disease, and recovery. It's an extraordinary resource with life-changing potential. It's simple, free, and available to everyone. Thank you for listening to Menopause Natural Solutions. This podcast contains general information about menopause. It is provided as a guide, and it is not intended to replace medical advice. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend.